On today's video, what I want to explain to new mixing engineers is don't do what the pros do, right? When you watch all these big platforms where they are doing their mix breakdowns, like Mix with the Masters or Pure Mix and all these other online platforms where you see the pro mixing engineers do mix walkthroughs, don't copy what they do, right? Why try to sound like a pro when you are not a pro? Bruh. Well, this video might be controversial, but if you stick till the end, you will understand what I mean. So let's get into it. Hi and welcome back. Obviously, a lot of the people after watching all these mix breakdowns by me, the likes of Jason Joshua, Tizio, Leslie Brathwaite, Ken Lewis, the list goes on, right? Even Dave Pensados and stuff. They go and start doing exactly the same thing on their mixes. But the problem then lies is the fact that those guys, they are working with the best artists that are obviously on top of their games, and they have access to the best microphones, like the likes of C800 by Sony, Elam 251, AKG C12s, the U47 Normanns. Actually, the least microphone most of these artists use is the U87, which a lot of the guys recording at home still doesn't have. Most home recording studios that I've worked with, what they're using is, Rode NT1A. Some of them obviously use maybe the AKG 414. The highest they've obviously got is things like TLM 103, 102, or some other mic around that price range, like the Audio Technicas and stuff. So why now trying to do the same EQ moves? Because remember, the sound determines how much you EQ it or the kind of EQ moves that you would do. The same with compressors. And a lot of these big artists, they've already tracked with, the best preamps. They've also tracked with the best EQ. Some of them obviously have Potec EQ strapped into the vocal chain, the stressor compressors or the, TubeTech CL1B. So when it comes to mixing, they might not compress as much, right? And their EQ moves might be also minimal because the sound already sound clean, right? What they're not doing is just trying to fit it into the production. Whereas for a home recording person, you have a bare bone recording, because a lot of people obviously, not only are they recording with cheap mic, but their room also is not well treated acoustically. And then the biggest problem, obviously not just recording noise, is the fact that you're going straight to interface, which the preamp doesn't sound clean, right? So it's very stereo, which means you need to do a lot more to actually fit it in, right? So if you now watch, let's say you've watched Jason Joshua walking his song through, you probably will not see him doing like not denoisers and stuff, because there's no noise recorded. Maybe where the track is a properly, acoustically treated room. Whereas you recording in your room, you need to do denoiser. Sometimes even you need to cut, some of the boxiness out of the vocal before you even start mixing. So now with all this in mind, why try to sound like a pro? Or should I say, why try to mix like a pro when what you are dealing with is not a pro recording? So I've obviously dealt with this many times. That's why I thought, let me do a quick video about it. So if you are recording at home, right, even if you go watch all these big artists, they mix breakdowns, just take that as a pinch of salt to what could be achieved. But first, listen to your sound and listen to their sound when they solo it with no effects. Does it sound the same? Bruh. If it's not, that obviously tells you everything, because most of these pros that are listening to their vocals, just the raw vocals sound like already finished mixing sound. So what they're doing is just massaging it to fit it into that record. So try to, develop your ears. That's what you need to learn first. Develop your ears and also learn about how to fix problems, because what you're dealing with at the moment is problem. Obviously, if maybe in future you then improve your mixing space and also improve your recording space, and then buy maybe a decent microphone that will give you better sound, and then buy some outboard preamps that obviously, you know, amplify the sound in a way that helps you cut through more, that you don't need to overly EQ. Then you can do what they do at then. But for now, at your level, what you need to do is first improve your ears, right? Just practice as much as you can and try to make your recording sound like theirs, but not by doing what they do, right? Because if you do what they do, it will not sound like theirs.